You know, it's interesting you mentioned that, and I think anybody that pays attention has to go along with you in the fact that we are being regulated out of most of the different businesses that we have. Most of the new taxes and new laws are directly focused on Northern California. When you look at the gas tax, when you look at the mileage tax, I mean, I know that most of the people here, in fact, as far as medical goes, there, because of the Obamacare program, some people have to drive to 60 or 80 miles to see a doctor because their medical insurance won't cover them in a certain area, or in a lot of rural areas, there may not be a doctor for that specific medical need, and these people would be taxed on that mileage. Where I know my daughter and my son-in-law live in Alameda, California, and they basically take BART everywhere. So all these different taxes seem to be focused on people in rural California who are saying that we're a poor county, but they're taking money from us, and the people in the urban areas aren't subjugated to these regulations and taxes. I'd like to hear your comment on that.
It's interesting because when you consider the fact that we're governed from between 500 and 900 miles away by people who have no empathy and no knowledge about what it takes to conduct our lives, that's exactly what you get. Most of these taxes and regulations are enacted by urban legislators whose constituents aren't subject to the same problems that come along with these regulatory schemes. California is an unimaginable morass of failed social engineering and regulatory schemes. We're an economic engine that's been on the same track for 50 years, since 1965. The last time California worked was 1964, when each state senator or each county had a state senator, and we had checks and balance. The urban centers could not dictate policy for the entire state, nor could the rural counties. We had to compromise. We had to come to agreement. After 1965, when the Senate became a rubber stamp for the Assembly, we lost that balance. And now we have a situation where one house is a rubber stamp for the other house, mainly directed by the large population centers, and that isn't good or bad, it just is. But our problem is we are not in charge of our lives. We're subject to regulation that comes from afar by people who have no empathy for how we have to conduct our lives. And these taxes are a natural outgrowth of that. Can you imagine, as a legislator, what a boon it is to you when you can come up with a tax, get it passed, but the people who vote for you don't have to pay it?
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Wow.
What a tremendous opportunity for you to raise revenue anytime you want to with no political fallout from your constituents because they don't pay the tax. Someone else does. That's why we need our own state.